Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to the Sci-Fi Queens podcast where we celebrate all things sci-fi. If you're new to here, welcome to our channel. We ask that you hit that subscribe and notification bell. It will let you know when our next episodes will come up. If you want to support our channel, just go to our website that's scrolling at the bottom of the page, sci-fi queens.net, and you will find information on the queens, our shows, and a link to our merch store as well. Tonight we have a very, very, very VIP guest with us. And I'm very excited because we're going to be talking about something near and dear to me, sci-fi fighting styles. But let's check in with our co-host, Sarah, the Queen of Darkness. How are you doing today, Sarah?
I am doing okay. It's been cooler, so it's nice. So nice weather
Yes.
coming your way. You're
Yes,
like,
thank you. Because every time you have bad weather, it comes away. So
oh,
keep it over there.
Chewy wants to say
And
hello tonight too.
we have Coach Miguel, my coach, my Muay Thai coach, who's been coaching me for about a year and 2 months in Muay Thai. One of the greatest fighters. He is here with us tonight, and he's a sci-fi fan. And we're going to be talking to him about the different sci-fi fighting styles, how to apply them in real life. Do they really work in real life? And all of the things that come with that. But Coach Miguel, tell us, how are you doing today?
I'm awesome. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to share my knowledge. Uh
Oh, good.
it's I've always wanted to do something like this. You know, I was thinking about starting my own channel someday, and I would call it like Nerds with Gloves because
Oh,
you
yes,
know
I like that.
yeah, because there's a lot of us out there. People see fighters and they think that yeah, these guys, they only know how to get in the ring and do this and do that. Let
Yeah.
me tell you something.
Yes.
I've gone to Comic-Con 9 years straight, and for all 9 years, I have dressed up. I never go to
Yes.
Comic-Con without dressing up. I got
Yeah.
so much memorabilia here from Star Wars, anime, Marvel comics. I am a complete geek. You know,
Yes. I
one of the
love it.
nerds. All right.
How did I end up with a great world class champ as a coach who's also a sci fi nerd? I don't even understand how that happened. The universe put us together. I
Yes.
truly believe that. I truly
Yes.
Yeah.
do.
Yes.
So, Coach Miguel, you got a bunch of people saying hi here. Oh my goodness. Mel's Rebellion, how are you doing? She always joins us and supports us.
Yeah.
But
Hi,
tell
Mel.
us about you, Coach Miguel. Tell us about your background in Muay Thai, how you started, how long you've been doing this, your championships. Because before you tell us about your knowledge of sci-fi fighting, let us know about you first.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm 57, but I started the martial arts back in 19 wow.
The
85,
1900s.
Finish that.
1985. I started in northern Shaolin Kung Fu. And what
Wow.
what got me into it was like back in the 80s on Channel 5. This is when they had regular TV.
Yeah.
Every
Hello.
Saturday afternoon, they would show kung fu movies from 3 to 5 o'clock every
Hmm.
Saturday. It was called the drive-in theater, and I used to see that. The funny thing about that, every Saturday, and I lived in the South Bronx. Every Saturday from 3 to 5, the streets were cleared because everybody was home watching the kung fu
Watching
movie.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, you want to stop crying now? Put the kung fu movies back on TV. All right,
Hmm.
2 hours, you'll have a crime-free city. Okay, but yeah, and that was my first. I saw these movies and I was like, wow, these guys, the way they move and they do the things that they do, the crazy different styles of weapons that they use, the different kinds of animal systems, and monkey this and tiger that. I was really interested in learning that stuff. The only thing is, there was a reality check because that was kung fu cinema. When
Yes.
Yeah.
I went to the actual place to learn it, it was nothing. It was nothing like what you saw on TV, you know. But I loved it anyway. You know, it was an alternative, you know, from the streets because, like I said, you know, I was born and raised in the South Bronx. You know, back in the '80s, you know, that's when you know that crack epidemic was big. So it was
Yes.
Yes,
pretty rough to be
absolutely.
out in the streets, and it was a good thing that you know we had the boys' club and different community centers where you can go and learn martial arts for free.
Mhm. So
But
you started out with kung fu
yeah,
or boxing. Okay.
yeah.
And
Northern
when
South.
did you transition over? Did you transition to boxing or Muay Thai?
Oh, actually, all right. It's funny
That's
because
probably a lot in between.
what happened.
Exactly.
See, what had happened was, um,
Hmm.
I started doing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and
Okay.
Okay.
folk style wrestling. Folk style wrestling is like the school the wrestling that kids do in high school. And
Okay.
I wanted to try MMA. So I had my first MMA fight, and I was cocky because I was a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy, and we used to train with one of the Gracies, and I was like very cocky, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna take this guy to the ground and I'm gonna choke him out or do whatever. But he had
Full
other plans.
Nelson, a full Nelson on him.
Yeah, but he had different plans. He kicked me with a leg kick. He kicked me in my thigh, and I was like, "Whoa, what is that?" Then he kicked me again. I was like, "Wow, that really hurt." So, long story short, I shot in to take him down, but the takedown was bad, and he caught me in a choke, which is called a guillotine choke. And
Hmm.
the fight lasted only 56 seconds.
Oh,
So I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna pursue MMA, I gotta learn a striking art. Kung
yes.
Fu wasn't the striking art for the ring, you know?
No.
And so I tried my first class in Muay Thai, and I never forget it. It was at the Ultimate Gym in Manhattan on 30th Street. The very first class, he had us jump rope for 15 minutes. I jumped rope for 15 minutes and went to the bathroom and puked. And all the time I
Yeah.
was puking, I was like, yeah, this is for me. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I came
Can
and
I just say,
uh-huh.
as sore as I leave your training, I've never puked. And I'm
Yeah.
grateful for it because that's gross.
But it's the truth. And
Yeah.
you know, I started training Muay Thai in 1998, and you know, it's become a passion for me. I never went back to jiu-jitsu. I never went back to wrestling. You know, I just fell in love with Muay Thai. Um, the fighting aspect was a small part of it, but then when I learned about the culture, man, you
Hmm.
know, the culture is amazing. You know, I never understood why they always played music when during the fights. I didn't understand about the headband that they wear, the armbands they wear, and the dance, the ritual dance they did in the ring before the fights. And man, it's just the history and the culture of Muay Thai is so beautiful. That's why they nicknamed it the beautiful savagery. You know, the fight is savage, but the history and the culture behind it is beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. And you actually are a champion
Yeah,
uh
I retired.
belt. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
So how
lightweight
many fights have you won in Muay Thai? All
14.
of them?
So I wish I would.
14.
No, I got my ass handed to me a couple of times. Here, I'll tell you this real quick. My very first fight, I took such a beating. Wow. My first Muay Thai fight, I took a beating. You know, it was so bad, they stopped the fight in the second round. But that didn't deter me because I was so in love with the sport. I was so in love with the
Yeah.
culture. And I had a really good coach. And he told me, you know, you got to take you got to learn how to take the losses. You learn more
Mhm.
from losses than you do from wins.
Yeah.
Well,
And
yeah.
yeah, that was, you know, that was a life lesson for me. And I got back in the ring, and you know, here I am today. I didn't let that one, and you know, as a coach, I've seen it happen. I've had students that, you know, they lose one fight and they never come back, you know. But
Wow, really?
yeah, yeah, I've had it happen.
Sad.
And but I knew, you know, I knew that, you know, this is for me. This is what I want to do. It's just so beautiful, such a beautiful thing, you know. Um, I wrote for a magazine, you know. I did interviews for people, with fighters, with coaches. I've done so much in the sport. It's just I'm very, very passionate about it, and every martial art has, you know, its special something. It was just, you know, the thing of Muay Thai. What Muay Thai has to offer that, you know, kept me
Yes.
in. You know, I never went back to any.
I can connect with that because I feel like it's given me so much in this past year and 2 months. And I did Showman Rule many years ago, and I never felt connected to what I was doing.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
feel connected to what I'm doing with Coach McGaw. I feel like I understand how to take care of myself, how to defend myself, how to move my body. I understand my body in a different level, and I understand when when not to be physically angry and when to be physically angry in a different level.
Mhm.
It really is about understanding your own emotions when you're in there because you
Mhm.
have to keep in control. And Coach Miguel and I are now starting to spar.
Yes,
Um,
yeah, that's a lot of fun for one of us.
for him, because you
No,
see,
for you. I'm the one getting the beating.
I prefer to hit, not be hit. Uh, but I'm learning how to be okay with seeing someone come at you because
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
a different feeling. Because it feels really good to punch someone and throw that punch, but it's a whole different ball game when you see a punch coming at you
Mhm.
Yeah.
and how to react to it. And I think that it really teaches you control of your own body, and I really love that. Um, Before we move forward to the sci-fi part of this conversation,
Mhm.
Sarah, do you have any questions about what Coach Migo has said so far? Anything you want to discuss before we move forward? I know you've been kind of quiet, so I wanted to give you
Oh
that
no, no, no.
opportunity.
I've liked everything he said. Um, I don't think I have any questions because you kind of
Okay.
answered them all. Um,
Ah,
just like, well, you ask somebody like, how do you feel? Like, how do you feel when you were a professional? I mean, when did you decide to hang it up, I guess, and then
Um,
become a coach?
Sometimes you're fortunate for me, you know,
Hmm.
I coached while I was an active fighter, you know.
Hmm.
Um, Sometimes you gotta listen to your body, you
Hmm.
know, and my body was telling me, you know, you're 50, you're gonna be 50. Uh, you can't be out there fighting these young guys anymore. And yeah, it was my retirement fight was in Iowa. And the guy was 29 years old.
Oh God,
And yeah, but I gave him a beating. I finished
that's
him in the
good.
ground. So,
As long as you didn't go quietly into that night.
no. And you know the beautiful thing about that fight, it's not just that it was my last fight and the way that I had won. My son was there, sitting in the crowd,
nice.
and
Yes.
you know, it was a tournament, and you know, I didn't have like a whole lot of fans over there. You know, we're all the way in Iowa.
Yeah.
And when the referee raised my hand, I saw my son stand up and he was like the only one clapping. And that was like the greatest feeling in the world, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He had never seen me fight, you know. I've seen him when he competed, I watched him fight, but he never saw me fight. And it
Hmm.
was good for him to see me in my retirement fight.
That's good.
Yes. And that you went out as the winner because
On a good note,
it
yeah.
has to be the worst feeling in the world to know, okay, this is my last fight and you don't come out a winner. It has to have some sort of impact on that fighter. It has to be a different kind of feel to know that you left on a high note,
Yeah,
you
and a
know.
lot of fighters make that mistake, you know. Win or lose, if you decide before the fight that this is gonna be your last fight, win or lose, stop.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because I've
you
seen so
have
many
to.
fighters,
Yes.
they say it's their last fight, they lose and they
And they're
come
like, oh,
back.
I gotta do another one, and I gotta
Yeah,
do, and then they
and
just keep losing
each fight
probably
gets worse and worse for them.
that, yeah, because they were ready to be done, so they're not ready to put the
Yeah.
same amount of effort into those continue.
Mm-hmm.
I know where you're going with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to leave, when your music comes on and you coming in, you walking down to the ring and people are tapping your shoulder saying good luck this, good luck that. You get in the ring, they announce your name, people are yelling. It's hard to leave that.
Mm,
Hard to leave that behind. But like I said, I matured enough in the sport to know that okay, this is it. No
hmm.
matter
Yeah,
what happens today,
absolutely.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And now you've
That's
had the
good.
privilege to train um, actors in
Yeah.
martial arts. Tell us
Mhm.
a little bit
Ooh.
about that before we start talking about sci-fi fighting and the difference between what's performative and what would and wouldn't work in real life. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
you have had that opportunity to train actual actors
Yeah, I've
in
trained.
martial arts.
She's a her name is Bailey Bass. She was in what is that movie with the blue people? Avatar.
Avatar.
Yeah,
Avatar.
Yeah.
she's in the Avatar movie, and so I'm in the gym one day, and I'm just finishing up teaching a private session, and the owner of the gym comes to me and he says, Miguel, we have this young lady. She's gonna be auditioning for a role in a movie, and but she has to have some martial arts experience. So I said, cool, all right, bring her to me. And I didn't know what movie it was, you know,
Hmm.
and I was training her, but when I trained her, I didn't teach her so much Muay Thai because
Okay.
Hollywood is not ready for Muay Thai. Hollywood is
No.
ready for jumping spin kicks and
Hmm.
Superman punches and all the amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So the fact that I had background in kung fu helped me to train her. We added a little bit of Muay Thai stuff in there, but it was mostly a lot of kung fu. I taught her
Hmm.
spin kicks, how to, different stances and jumping kicks, and she picked it up amazing, and she got the role, and we're still friends to this day. We talk every now and then. She's in the Avatar. She was in a TV show, Interview with a Vampire. I
Ooh.
don't know if you ever seen that, but
The one with that the that she's the
the
little girl
actual
in there,
TV show.
right? The actress is supposed to be the little girl
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
training.
that was the girl who I trained.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn.
He does. I told you he badass. Hmm.
Yeah, but yeah,
So it must feel good to see all of the effort and all of the love and the
Mhm.
passion that you put into training someone, see someone flourish the way she did.
mhm.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
she
it absolutely
she
is.
loved it. She came in, usually my classes are an hour. Uh, my group classes are an hour, my private sessions are an hour, but she came in and she wasn't trying to go an hour. She was 2 hours. She wanted to learn everything. She wanted that role so bad. And it's
Hmm.
funny because she got the part, but it was more of a contract thing for her. She wouldn't do martial arts in the first movie that she was in. She would need martial arts for the next movie that she was in. So she
Nice.
Ah.
was already
Okay.
prepared. And in the I think the one where she's fighting is the what was the second one? The water or the
The
fire?
water one, yeah.
The water.
It's
Yeah.
it's
So
it's
the fire,
Avatar, and then it's the Way of the Water, and then Fire and
The
Ash.
way of the water.
yeah. So the fire one is where she really gets to use her fighting skills. So it was a
Cool.
great experience, man. I brag about that all the time. It was excellent. I've actually done uh not commercials, but train people in commercials for like little boxing moves. For we had a they had a new cure, experimental cure they was working on for hepatitis, and so they had these people who had hepatitis, and they had me train them, show them some boxing moves so they could look good on the camera, to help
Mhm.
promote the new
A healthy lifestyle post cure or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah.
yeah, I have my little share of commercial this, actress that. So it's fun. It's great. I never wanted to be
And
that.
never did you think that starting Muay Thai would bring you here,
No,
or starting Kung Fu would have brought you here.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Mm-mm. Yep.
It's
So if
crazy.
you need a coach in martial arts and you're in Brooklyn, hit this man up for sure. This is the guy you want training you. Okay.
Yeah.
Battle
Yeah.
Queen approved. That's right.
Yes.
So let's talk about the fighting styles in sci-fi. We have seen from Star Trek to Star Wars to all these different sci-fis and fantasies, TV shows and movies
Hmm.
that have all these different fighting styles. For example, the Klingons have their own, they created an entire fighting style for them. The Vulcans have their own fighting styles. And we
Hmm.
see in Star Wars all of the different Jedi's and the fighting styles. How much of this translate to real world application, and what part of these things apply to real world application? Like, you see in Star Trek a lot of times that they put their hands together and they go like this and they're knocking people up.
You talk about my man. You talk about my man, Captain Kirk. Yeah,
Yeah,
let me tell you
where he
something.
was fighting the Gorn,
Listen,
right?
if
And
Captain
they
Kirk
all
was
do
here,
that, not just Kirk, but they all do that in
yeah,
Star Trek a
but
lot.
Kirk was the man.
Yeah, he was. But
Here he would
does that
introduce the
work
kid.
in real life?
Mhm.
Does that work in real life fighting? How
Um,
is
I'm
it,
gonna say
because
this.
there's Hollywood stuff and then there's real world fighting.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Every martial art has something to offer. There's a misconception that, oh, this wouldn't work here, or that wouldn't work there. What it boils down to is the person. There is no such thing as the best martial art, because you can take a really good karate fighter and he could beat a really good Muay Thai fighter. You could take
Mhm.
a really good Taekwondo fighter, and that Taekwondo fighter could beat a judo practitioner.
Yes,
It doesn't boil down to the art. It boils down to the person behind the art.
Hmm.
Um,
And the decisions they make and the
yeah,
training that they've had.
yeah.
yes.
I tell my students, fighting is always the last resort. The last, uh, if people are talking, then the experience has shown me people that talk, all they're gonna do is talk. So you walk away from that. I always tell my students to walk away, and I tell, especially the kids class, I always tell them, I don't want to get a phone call from your principal saying that you in school fighting. You know
Hmm.
what I teach you here is to help build you, to build your confidence, to build your
Yeah,
character, to help you stay fit. And these kids, they need this now. Um, because when you think about it, every sport has a season. You have
yes.
basketball season, you got football
Hmm.
season, you got baseball season. Kids who play baseball, what do they do when baseball season is over? Kids who play soccer, what do they do when the World Cup is over? You know,
Yeah.
the thing about the martial arts, there's no season.
It's
It's
year
always
round.
something to do. It's always
Yeah.
Hmm.
learning, and it's always something to do. And yeah, I make sure that I instill that in them. You come here, and my guarantee to you is that you're gonna walk through that door one way, and when you leave, you're gonna be better than when you first walked in.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So now, when we look at fighting scenes like the fight between the Gorn and Captain Kirk, or fighting scenes in any sci-fi, how much of that is actual fighting style?
I
Like,
mean,
you know what I'm trying to say? Like, how much of it is a boxing, or how much, like when we saw Cisco in Deep Space Nine punch Q in the face, he's a boxer by nature, this actor. So his character boxes, right, in the
Mhm.
holodeck. So he punched him out and he knocked him right out on the jaw. Q disappears, never comes back again to bother him, and making him the greatest captain ever. But anyway, um, but that's something that's real, right? Boxing is something that's real. You can see it happening. You can see boxing. But
Mm.
some of the fighting styles that we see in science fiction, how much of it comes from actual fighting style versus
Um.
what Hollywood wants you to see?
All right. Well,
I
let's take the fight in Phantom Menace with Darth Maul,
Okay.
Qui Gon,
Mhm.
and Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
Okay.
which is my favorite fighting scene of all time.
Yeah.
I love that fight scene. And I listen, I saw the first Star Wars in the movie theater, you know,
Me too.
and I've watched the evolution of the choreography, and it's
Yes.
gotten so good until the
Mhm.
last Star Wars.
Oh,
The
really?
yes, with the lady, I forgot her name, but that shouldn't have happened. But anyway, the um the guy who played Darth Maul, he's his name is Ray Park.
Ray Park. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a lot of people don't know about what people don't know about Ray Park. Not only did he play Darth Maul, but he played Toad in the X-Men movie. He
Yes, he
played
did.
he played Snake Eyes in the G.I. Joe movie.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, so he's what you call a wushu stylist.
Yeah.
In China, they don't call it kung fu. In China, they call it wushu. Only
Wushu.
different countries say kung fu. But in China, they never you say kung fu in China, they're gonna look at you like, yeah, you're a tourist.
Yeah,
In
exactly.
China, they don't call it kung fu, they call it wushu. And so yeah, um Ray Park is a wushu stylist. And in China, in the Chinese opera, you know, the fighting styles they teach are not really meant for combat. They're meant for show.
Yeah.
You know, you're not really expected. You're not really expected to do all these flips and cartwheels in an actual fight because the streets can be very unforgiving. You know,
Yeah.
Exactly. Can you imagine getting into a street fight and flipping, doing a
yeah,
roundhouse kick? But when you land on that foot, you just go feel it more than they did.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's Chinese. It was Chinese opera, and it was more for show. So
Mhm.
styles like wusu, um, wushu is southern, wusu is northern. They were meant for show. They weren't really
Okay,
meant for combat.
got it.
Mhm.
Like Muay Thai. Muay Thai originally started as Muay Boran.
Yes.
The soldiers used it like it was supposed to replace their weapons. If they had lost their weapons in battle, your fists represent knives and swords. Your elbows represent like the mace and hammers, your forearms are like your armor, your shins are like your armor, your foot is like a spear,
Mhm.
so that's why they call it the art of 8 limbs, because you're using all 8 limbs as a weapon. So Muay Thai was made into a sport, but it started from Muay Boran, which was, original martial art, which was
Yes.
made for combat. Wushu and those uh, Chinese opera styles were not made for combat. They were made just for show. You know, a
Is
lot of
that why we see a lot of kung fu style in the fightings in science fiction because they were meant for show?
Yeah.
it was.
Like I remember in the Matrix, he's like I need to learn fighting, and he's like blah 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 blah. Oh, I know kung fu, and he's
Yeah,
like, show me, and he got his ass handed to him because he had the knowledge, but he had no practical, usage of it.
right.
Exactly.
Yeah, so some arts are made for fighting and some arts are not. And in China, Chinese opera is big, and it's like where at school here in America, they teach the kids to play basketball, volleyball and things like that. But in China, it's mostly martial arts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If you could, you
Yep.
probably see videos on YouTube where there's like hundreds of students standing outside doing different martial arts
Yes.
moves. Yeah, those are school kids that get out there, and that's their.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's their
And
PE.
it
Yeah.
is truly, and that's truly one of, in my opinion, one of the best exercise you could do because it's full body.
Yeah.
And it's almost a strength training type of full body exercise. It's not just a cardio, um, because it you really use every part of your muscles,
Mhm.
every part. Because I know because they all hurt, and
I
I live in soreness. Okay, so I know I'm using every part of my muscles
warn
everywhere.
everybody. Listen, when they get into Muay Thai, your days of waking up pain free are over.
Oh, it's over. Yeah, 100% over. Absolutely. But it is the most satisfying, painful experience. It,
Yes.
Yes.
it really is because it makes you so body attuned and so body aware. Um, and going back to science fiction and fantasy, you mentioned, Sarah, the Matrix.
Hmm.
How much of what we saw in the Matrix can be applied in real life? Because if wushu and those types of martial arts are for really for Hollywood and for show,
Hmm.
then could some of it be applied in real life?
Uh, it's a possibility because Bruce Lee had a famous saying. He said, "Unexpected moves are hard to counter." Um, when you see two people get if you see two people get in a street fight, not one of them is thinking this guy might throw a spinning kick or this guy might do a jumping kick to the head.
Yep.
So,
Or gonna
so
be elbowed in the face or
yeah.
something.
So in
Yeah.
scenarios like that, it's a possibility
Yep.
because you don't know what to expect when you're in a street fight. It's somebody you don't know. I've never been in a street fight where I thought to myself, this guy's gonna do a 360 spin kick and hit me in the head. I never thought
Exactly.
I've never thought of anything like that. I'm just thinking that
Mhm.
this guy is gonna just come in and start wailing on me.
Yeah.
So,
Do
it's
you think what is the effect that these fighting scenes in science fiction and fantasy, what is the effect that it has when people start to learn how to fight in real life? You were influenced by what you saw
Mhm.
on TV, but then you said when you went into a dojo to really start learning, it was very, very different.
yeah.
A rude
The
awakening.
whole experience, yeah, it's like a rude awakening.
Mhm.
What do you say to someone who's like, hey, I saw the Matrix and I want to fight like Neo, or I want to fight the Gorn like Captain Kirk? What do you tell people who come excited because they saw something on television and now they want to replicate that? How do you bring them down without crushing them?
Um, by being there's only one way to do it, and that's just by being completely honest. Just let them know,
Hmm.
you know, what you see on TV or what you see in the movies doesn't always, transfer into
Hmm.
actual real life self defense.
Well, you got to remember that they have, wires and safety
Mm,
features
yeah,
and all these, and fancy cameras moving
Harnesses
around.
that can make
Uh,
them flip.
and
Yeah,
it's choreographed.
right.
Yeah.
It's a whole plan. Yeah,
I show
not.
people. I have a video that I usually show people who want to get into the martial arts and um they see, they because they what they see in the movies. There was a movie that Jet Li was in. I forgot the name of it, but Cradle to the Grave. And
Yes, I love that movie.
but in that movie, there was three fighters who were actual UFC fighters. And in an interview, yeah, one was Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture, and Tito Ortiz. These were three famous UFC fighters that were doing fight scenes with Jet Li. So in an interview, they asked Jet Li. Now, this is the reality when people start thinking about, oh, I saw him do it in a movie. Now I want to do it. They asked Jet Li, how do you think you would do in a real fight against these fighters? Jet Li said out of his own mouth, those guys would kill me. They're real fighters,
Yeah.
champions.
Yeah.
Actually, I heard Jet Li talking on a post that he did with his daughter, how a lot of what you see in Hollywood is for Hollywood.
Mhm.
Certain
Hmm.
styles are for Hollywood. And he was talking about kung fu versus something else. I forgot what was the other one, and how he had mentioned that kung fu was for Hollywood.
Mhm.
This is for the movie theater. This is for effect.
Right.
Hmm.
Um, I love Jet Li. He's so amazing.
Mhm.
Um, and it's that's what kind of triggered this whole let's talk about fighting in science fiction, because
Hmm.
we all love a good fight scene,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
and certain fights, we know when you see boxing, we know, okay, this translates to the ring.
Right.
People box in the ring, and
Hmm.
it's something that if you're in the street, you can defend yourself with some boxing moves, right? And Muay Thai has it is just boxing from Thailand.
Right.
It's that's basically what it is. The only difference is you're not just using your fist, you're using your entire body, your
Hmm.
elbows, your kicks, your legs, everything about you is going to defend you, it's going to protect you.
Yeah.
um and that's the beauty of Muay Thai, because that's what makes it so full body exercise, and every muscle in your body is gonna hurt because you're using every muscle in your body. And those are things that actually translate well, because if you're being attacked and you can't defend yourself with a punch, but you can elbow someone, right?
Mhm.
Or you can kick someone if they're grabbing you from behind, and knowing how to do that and knowing where to strike will get you released,
You
and
see,
you can get out of there.
and
Yes.
that's the beautiful thing about, and I'll say that not just about Muay Thai, I'll say that about boxing as well. Okay, let's use Taekwondo as an example, which they used a lot of Taekwondo in the Matrix fight scene.
Hmm.
Um,
Yes,
if
they
you're in the
do.
elevator, are you going to be able to throw kicks like that?
Absolutely not.
If
Not.
it's snowing outside,
You gonna
are you going to
slip.
be able to throw those kicks?
No.
So you see, um, if you're coming down the stairs, can you throw those kicks? So you have to. That's the thing about Muay Thai and boxing. You learn to fight at different ranges. If it's
Hmm.
snowing outside, I can't effectively throw a kick. If I throw a kick, there's chances are I'm gonna slip and bust my ass. You know what
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
mean?
But you could punch someone.
Yes, you can
You
punch,
can elbow
you can
them.
elbow,
If
you
you
can
got
throw
gloves on
knee.
because it's cold and snowy,
Yeah.
elbow them.
The
That's what
same
you
thing if
do.
you're in the elevator.
Yeah.
You can't throw kicks in there, but you can always throw punches, you can throw knees, you know. Um,
Hmm.
and that's where martial arts and fighting. A lot of people don't understand, and I've had this debate with people on social media all the time. Because you study martial arts doesn't make you a fighter. But
Exactly.
two completely different things. They are
Absolutely.
not
100%
the same.
different.
A lot of people don't understand that, and I have to explain. Um, the martial arts is more of it's a lifestyle. It's a way of life.
Hmm.
Yes.
It's about bettering yourself. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
People find the same things in boxing and they find it in Muay Thai. It all depends on the coach. I'm not
Hmm.
like when I teach Muay Thai, I teach Muay Thai as a martial art before anything. And if a student says to me, "Coach, I wanna give it, I wanna try and get in the ring and fight," then that's what we do. Then it becomes the fighting aspect. But
Exactly.
just because you know martial arts doesn't mean you're a fighter or you know how to fight.
Yeah.
You understand
Sometimes with
things.
martial arts,
Mhm.
it's more about blocking than it is anything else.
Yeah.
And you'll always be able to, if you are a student of martial arts, be able to block a punch coming your way or a kick, but doesn't mean you know how to throw back and
Right.
give back. And
Right.
it's a
Yeah.
whole different feel. I
Yeah.
love to punch people, but I don't want to see a punch coming my way.
Right.
And I've been learning about that.
How
And
do you
I've been
react when
flinching.
you get that punch? You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yes.
when that's the whole thing that I have about katas. They do these moves and hit
It's
this
a
and
choreographed dance, these katas. But
yes,
you
Yeah.
can't take that into the street. You
can't.
absolutely cannot.
Yeah.
You absolutely, and katas are these movements that are all choreographed, one movement after the other, after the other, after the
Mhm.
other, and you do them in these sequence, right? And the higher you go in belt, the more complicated it gets.
Yeah.
But it
Mhm.
really is just a sequence of choreographed moves. The
Right.
streets are not choreographed.
Nope.
The
Nope.
streets are not choreographed.
Not.
Right.
They're just not.
Mm,
When somebody's coming at you, they're coming at you.
mm,
And you have to make split second decisions. And that's something that I'm learning in Muay Thai is how to react.
mm.
Because when Coach and I first started recently sparring, it's between pad work, but now he's sparring and throwing punches back. Like rude. I just want to do the punching. I don't want to get punched. My reaction was flinching. Was and I was annoyed at myself, but I'm like, but I've been training. How am I flinching? Because it's a different animal to throw a punch than it is to
And
get one coming. And
yeah.
I know he's not gonna hurt me. I know he is a professional. He's not going to hurt me. But just seeing the glove coming at you is a very different feel. And that's
Right.
what prepares you to defend yourself when you're outside because
Yeah.
you know how that's coming at you and what to do next.
Mhm.
And it
Mhm.
last the 2 weeks ago when we started this, I was not ducking, I was not pulling back, even though I had learned to do all those things. And I came home and I started thinking about my body movement and I started thinking about how my body moved. What was I doing wrong? Why I kept getting hit? That's what I'm saying.
It's
And
probably all in your head, and you just need to get out of your own damn way.
yes, shut up. Don't give him ideas. He tells me the same thing all the time. And I started to think about what was it that I was lacking. And it was,
Mhm.
I didn't apply ducking, moving out of the way. I
Mhm.
didn't apply pulling back. That's what I was missing. Did he still hit me today? Yes, it's gonna happen. Because now I know what to do. Now it's a matter of, okay, let's put that into practice. And
Right.
that's something you don't see in sci-fi fighting. They always hitting each other and they react like it's nothing. When you get hit for real, you're gonna react a whole different kind of way. When
That's right.
Yep.
somebody like when Captain Cisco punched Q in the face, all Q was like, ouch, Picard never hit me, and he vanishes. If he had
Mhm.
really got punched in the face, he would have knocked him out because he hit him
Right.
right here. He hit him right at the jaw. That's your
Yeah.
knockout punch, right at the jaw. It would have been a whole different reaction. And that's how you know that was so staged right there.
Yeah.
That was staged, you know? And understanding that makes that scene so much different for me now.
Mhm.
It makes it so much more different now, you know. And I think that that's the misconception when we see fighting on TV or in a movie, in a sci-fi, especially in sci-fi and fantasy, because there's a lot of exaggeration going on in these scenes,
Mhm.
right? Because you want to make it grandiose. You want to bring in the audience and go, oh, look, Neil ducking bullets. You
Yeah.
don't duck in slow motion. You just
Right.
don't. That's
Yeah.
not
That ain't.
gonna happen. Just forget it. It's not
Woo!
gonna. We're not doing this. Whoa! You don't want to flare your arms. You want to keep yourself protected at all costs, right? But it looks good on the screen. It's
Right.
just not practical. It's just not practical,
Yeah.
and knowing and understanding fighting now makes these things look different. And you, coach, as a fighter who's a professional fighter who's won a belt, when you see these scenes on fantasy and sci-fi and you see these fights, do you evaluate them as you go along and watch them, or can you just enjoy them?
I try to. The coach in me is like I'm watching. I'm like, yo, hit him with this, hit him with that. But the reality is, I try to enjoy it, but I try to coach at the same time, man. But
Hmm.
I'll say this. Let's keep it 100. I will never knock the the martial arts that's used in sci-fi or TV or anything else
Thirsty.
because
Yes,
it brings people in. You know, um,
it does.
there's a reality check when you come in. It might not be what you saw in the movie, but
Hmm.
at least you get to try. You come in
Exactly.
and you see it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't.
Hmm.
But I enjoy the fact that there are martial arts in movies because it brings people. I've gained so much from the martial arts, so
Yes.
much, and there's a lot of people out there who need it. And I'm not talking about fighting. There's so much that the martial arts builds in you. It
Yeah.
builds confidence. It builds self-awareness. It builds
Character.
so much character in you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You never have to throw, you never, God forbid, you can go train martial arts and never have to throw a punch a day in your life, but
Yeah.
you will excel at so many other challenges in life. So
Yes.
while the martial arts in movies, they're, all hyped up, and I still enjoy it because it still brings people into the art.
Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's beautiful. But I want to move on to our segment with Sarah because she's going to be bringing us the most amazing female scientists for us to learn about. So let's get with it. Take it away, Sarah.
Tonight we have Alex Chambers. Alex Chambers was always going to be a robotics engineer, that or an astrophysicist. But then she started fighting, she says jokingly, and everything else, it all dropped away. Once destined for a career building bots, Chambers instead became Australia's first female UFC fighter who competes in the strawweight or atomweight division. Chambers started learning karate when she was a child. By the time she was in university, she held a third dan in karate and was competing on an international stage. But before becoming an MMA fighter, Chambers attended the University of Sydney, where she did a double degree in astrophysics and mechatronics engineering. Mechatronics engineering, also called mechatronics, is a synergistic integration of mechanical, electrical, and computer systems employing mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, electronic engineering, and computer science and engineering, and includes a combination of robotics, computer science, telecommunication systems, control, automation, and product engineering, making robots. The original plan was to be an engineer working in robotics, she said, but at the time I was also competing internationally in karate. Hold on, the dog wants to speak up too. She had been doing that since she was 8, and the higher she went, the less of a priority her studies became. She was still really interested in physics and astronomy, so she finished her degree. But the stage by but by that stage, Chambers knew she wanted a career in mixed martial arts. She also thought being at an atom weight was kind of cool, seeing as her degree was in astrophysics. She's usually a lot smaller than her opponents, regardless of whether she fought at atom weight or the straw weight. So atom weight was just the more natural weight division for her, but the UFC assigned the second female weight division as straw weight, so opponents for that came up. How could she say no? She made her professional MMA debut in May 2010 for the Rise promotion in Australia. It was the first female MMA bout to ever take place in New South Wales state history. Chambers is the first Australian woman to ever fight in the octagon. She won her debut as well as a subsequent bout, which happened around 2 months later. During her MMA career, Chambers fought for the UFC and Invicta for a total of 10 professional fights. Her record includes 5 wins, including 2 by knockout and 5 losses. In February 2021, it was reported that Chambers and the UFC had parted ways. Chambers desired to become a martial arts coach after she retired from professional MMA. And as far as I can tell, that's what she's doing now.
Excellent. You see, I think it's so beautiful how, we need to understand that fighters are complex individuals
Hmm.
with entire lives. Here's
Yes.
this educated woman in the sciences, robotics, I
Hmm.
like robots. Um, and yet she is able to discipline herself enough to not just train in MMA,
But
but
fight and
compete,
win. Yeah.
but fight and win. Yeah,
And that's a tough
absolutely.
that's a tough sport. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
they wear 4-ounce gloves. That's like wrapping a washcloth around your hand.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Those gloves are heavy. I can tell you. They're heavy. Gloves are heavy. And
Yes.
those look like they're lightweight, those MMA gloves, but they're not. They're really heavy. Just because your fingers are out, they're out because you're grappling people. But those gloves are
Yeah.
heavy. And when you hit with a glove, it's a whole different kind of animal right there.
Yeah.
You know? Absolutely. And I love the diversity of this particular scientist, of having that background and focusing on that career, because sometimes our passions are different than what we think they're going to be. She probably
Right.
started out just thinking, oh, I'm going to be a scientist, and that was it.
Right. And that was always her dream, is she wanted to be an
Yeah,
astrophysicist, and but she
yeah,
was doing karate on the side, and then she was
mhm,
competing internationally and weighing the two, and like, well,
yeah,
I still want to be a scientist, but like I'm going
yeah,
somewhere with this. So,
exactly.
you got to choose your battles and choose what you want. And I one of the things that struck me about her is that instead of just giving up on her degree, she went ahead and finished it. So she has that, you know,
Yes,
and then she went on to fight. And then, there's not much more about her
absolutely.
right
And
now, but yeah.
one of the things I want to say before we close, and would love for Coach Miguel to chime in, is that the great thing about martial arts is that it's never too late to learn. I started last year, what, 14 months ago,
Hmm.
and in September I turned 55. There's never too late to learn martial arts. Um, and I feel like that's the beauty of martial arts, that it's for everyone. What is
Hmm.
your thoughts on that, Coach Miguel?
Oh, I agree 100%. I mean, uh,
As you should. Oh,
I remember when you first came to me. I was
ooh,
like,
hot
she's so
mess.
shy, she's so timid, and you were so afraid. And I was like, oh yeah, I got some work here. And but look at you now,
But
man.
you let the
You're
beast
Hmm.
out.
doing
You let the
punches,
beast out. It's your fault. You let the
kicking
beast
today.
out.
She was throwing kicks at me today. It was something, man. But
I was
yeah,
told not to kick, so I kicked.
yeah, yeah. I
Don't do it. Okay, I got to do it.
Okay, I will do it.
But yeah, I think the martial arts is for everybody. For the simple fact is, there's always the health aspect, and
Yeah,
Hmm.
the mental. The mind controls the body, so
yeah,
the martial arts helps build that strong mentality.
yeah.
Hmm.
The physical part comes after. You know, and while you may be too old to like get in the ring and compete, you still are able to take away a lot of the physical exercise and a lot of the
Hmm.
health benefits of the martial arts.
Yes.
It's a misconception that you got to get in the martial arts just to fight. No, you get in the
No,
martial arts to
absolutely.
avoid fighting.
Right.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
to avoid fighting, not to
Yep.
get into fights.
Yes.
And yeah, it
Absolutely.
definitely benefits
Hmm.
everybody. I've seen videos of 60-year-old men. There's one video of this lady, 73, punching a
Hmm.
bag, and I was like, wow. So now, if we got 73-year-old women hitting bags, what's your excuse?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And let me tell you, Coach, and I'm gonna share this little bit of a story, and then we're gonna move. We will move on. I promise you guys. Um, when I started 14 months ago with Coach Miguel, he does 1 hour private sessions, right? So that's what I wanted to do. I think we did 20 minutes, and I had to stop, and I left defeated. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do half an hour. And I left defeated. And I will never forget what Coach Miguel did. I got a text that day from him later telling me, okay, we're going to I redid the program. I'll see you next week. We're gonna do things differently. Because I left thinking he's never gonna want to train me. He's never gonna want to teach me. I could barely
Yeah.
do it. Right? But he didn't. He came back and he created a program that worked for me. And I was able to do that hour the next time. And I was able
Mhm.
to and I was only doing once a week when I started. And we started out sitting down. And I'm like, okay, when is this gonna end? And I think we did 2 months of it. And one day I come in and I'm like, where are the chairs? Do you want me to go get them? Like, I'll set it up. He's like, no, we're not doing that anymore. And I'm like, what?
Oh God.
The fear in my face. I was like, what? Um, but he worked with my capabilities. And to me, a good coach works with your capabilities, recognizes what you can and cannot do, and tells you where you need to be, and will take you to those steps that you need to get
Mhm.
to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And now I'm training twice a week, going on now changing that to instead of 2 hours a week, now we're going to do 3 hours. And it's going and I'm sparring and we're doing pad work. We're doing so much more than
Where you
we
started.
started with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't forget,
Um,
we doing the hand weights. We do kettlebell. Don't forget
yes,
that.
we do. We
That
do hand weights at the because let me tell you, Coach Miguel trains you like you go into that ring to fight.
Mhm.
Okay, and you're doing kettlebell training, you're doing weight training at the end after he beats you up and you're exhausted. So
too.
let's lift some weights. Why not? Why not? And so to me, a good coach works with who you are. For me, a good coach works with your capabilities and tells you, okay, this is what I see you being able to do. Let's work there. What do you think, Coach Miguel? How can someone determine whether or not a person is a good coach?
Um, here's the first thing I tell everybody: if you go into a gym and the coach doesn't ask you, "What can I do for you?" then that's you got to turn around and leave
Yeah.
Yep,
because
I remember that was your first question to me.
what can I do for you? Why
Hmm.
Yeah.
why are you here? You know, those are the
Mhm.
most important things. If a coach just tells you, okay, go here, put the gloves on, and let's do this, he don't really care. They just
Yeah.
they're gonna go through the motions with you, and that's that. Get their money
Yeah.
Yeah.
and call it a day.
Yep.
The way to tell your coach has to have questions. If you walk in and the coach doesn't have any questions for you, you know, do you have any health problems? Uh, what are you looking to get? Are you looking for self-defense? Are you looking for this? Are you looking for that? A
Mhm.
coach should have more questions than the client. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yes.
Because that means he actually cares. He's concerned, and in the mind, he's putting together a program for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Do you have, Sarah, anything you want to say before we close out?
No, I just think that that Coach Miguel is a great influence on you, and I've seen you grow in the last 14 months. So it's great to both of you and your
Yes,
progress.
we're two peas in a pod. That's how I like to see it. But thank you guys for being here tonight. Our next episode, we'll be reviewing the movie Hidden Figures. It's going to be August 7th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to talk about it. And our lovely Tiffany will be returning to us. We miss you,
Yay!
Tiffany, so much. And I thank you guys for sticking with us, being with us. And remember, this is going to be on Spotify tomorrow morning. So if you didn't catch the whole thing and you want to listen to it, just catch us on Spotify as well. But thank you,
Yes.
Coach Miguel, for being here
Thank you for
and
having me.
coming.
Yes.
I've always wanted to say that. Thank you for having me. I've never been on an interview. Thank you for having me.
Glad
Well, now
glad
you
to have you.
have.
Yes.
Absolutely. You are an honorary sci-fi queen.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. Well, I do my best.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
But thank you guys, and good night, and stay safe.
Good night.
Thank you for watching the Sci-Fi Queens, and be sure to support us on all our social medias and check out our website